Everyone knows Adam Smith, the man behind capitalism, invisible hand, free markets, self-interest. But what if I told you misunderstood him? He was not a prophet of greed. He was a moral philosopher. And he warned us repeatedly about what capitalism could become if we forget the human side of the equation. Most people quote Smith's invisible hand, like it was divine law, as if markets left alone will magically fix everything. But here's what most people don't know. Smith only mentioned the invisible hand 3 times across all of his work, and it was never the main idea. I set a side comment, an observation, not a doctrine. The myth we built around it, that came later. To understand Smith, you have to go back before The Wealth of Nations. In fact, that wasn't even his first book. His earlier work, The Theory of Moral Sentiments, was about empathy, conscience, and the inner moral compass that guides human behavior. It laid out a vision where individuals aren't just economic actors but deeply social beings, wired for sympathy. So what happened? Smith gave us warnings, but we turned him into a cheerleader for free market absolutism. Let's look at some of those warnings. First, monopolies. Smith was deeply suspicious of powerful merchants and business alliances. He wrote, "People of the same trade seldom meet together. The conversation ends in a conspiracy against the public." His concern was clear. Businesses, when unregulated, tend to collude to manipulate prices, stifle competition, and bend laws in their favor. Sound familiar? Today we see a few corporations dominating entire sectors, especially in big tech companies dominating in their each area. Smith believed competition was essential. Without it, markets rot from within. Second, exploitation. In Smith's time, poor workers in Scotland and England were paid starvation wages to labor in dangerous mills and mines. Smith didn't romanticize this. He was outraged. He wrote that laborers often receive scarce enough to maintain them, while owners accumulate fortunes. He feared a system where the wealthy prosper by squeezing the vulnerable. Today, the same patterns persist. From garment factories overseas to gig workers without benefits, millions still face harsh conditions for the benefit of a few. Third, cronyism. Smith saw how business and politics could become entangled. He knew that when the wealthy gain too much influence over government, laws begin to favor private interests, not the public good. He warned that regulations often arise not from concern for safety or fairness, but from powerful interests trying to keep out competitors. Fast forward to today, corporate lobbying, campaign financing, regulatory capture, Smith's fears have materialized. And while he supported markets, he insisted that true competition only works when rules are applied fairly. Fourth, moral decay. Smith believed that admiring wealth without questioning how it's earned would erode society's values. He wrote, "This disposition to admire, and almost to worship, the rich and the powerful, is the great and most universal cause of the corruption of our moral sentiments." In today's world, this warning feels eerily prophetic. From influencers promoting luxury lifestyles to billionaires treated like visionaries regardless of their ethics, our culture often confuses wealth with wisdom. Smith believed virtue mattered more. He also believed the government had a role not to control the market, but to maintain fairness, provide public goods, and educate the citizenry. Yes, he supported public education. He wrote that society should fund schools to teach not just literacy, but ethics. He saw education as a way to prevent manipulation, encourage critical thinking, and build moral citizens who could sustain a free society. Let's pause here. Does that sound like the invisible hand you learned about? For the past 2 centuries, his name has been used to justify things he warned us about. We built an economic system where the market is often treated as a moral compass. But Smith never said markets equal morality. He said morality must guide markets. Let's bring this forward to today. We live in an age of unprecedented inequality. The richest 1% own more than half the world's wealth. Meanwhile, millions can't afford healthcare, housing, or education. Smith didn't expect perfect equality, but he believed that extreme imbalance would threaten the moral and social fabric of any nation. When opportunity is blocked for the many, while wealth accumulates for the few, resentment and instability follow. Monopolies haven't gone away. They've gone global. From tech to agriculture to banking, a handful of companies wield incredible control. This doesn't just hurt consumers, crushes small businesses, silences innovation, and tilts power toward the elite few. Cronyism is no longer a backroom problem. It's systemic. Political campaigns are financed by corporate donors. Former CEOs become regulators. Major industries write the laws that govern them. Smith warned us that when economic and political power merge, the public loses its voice. And exploitation, it's not just in faraway factories. It's in warehouses, where workers skip bathroom breaks to meet quotas. It's in gig platforms that offer no job security. Smith believed business should serve society, not just shareholders. All of this inequality, monopolies, cronyism, exploitation, it isn't capitalism working well. It's capitalism drifting far from Smith's vision. He believed in balancing liberty with justice, self-interest with sympathy, growth with virtue. We turned him into a symbol of unchecked capitalism. But if he saw what we've built today, he'd probably say, "You've forgotten the most important part, humanity and responsibility." And maybe now, we're finally ready to hear his real voice. If this video helped you see him in a new light, hit like, subscribe, and share it with someone who still thinks Adam Smith invented greed.